Hello, everyone. This is the Magnificent Bastard, and this is a view from the left. Okay, so what we're seeing in this time of politics is we're seeing a growing fascist movement that needs to be stopped. Okay, um, Donald Trump is a wannabe dictator. He's already talking about a third term, which means he's going to try and get a third term. If he gets a chance, he's going to try and make a permanent uh, station for himself as the president. So he is El Presidente. Okay, I'm sorry, but he is not going to go away quietly into the night. He is going to just try and destroy all opposition, and this is why you know this is a time where heroes are forged. Um, some examples of some acts that I consider to be great at this time is Francesca Fiorentini leaving TYT. TYT, Cenk Uygur, and Anna Kasparian are going on and trying to make alliances with Charlie Kirk and Glenn Beck. Oh no, Steve Bannon. Sorry. Yes. Anna did go on Glenn Beck as well. So these are fascists they're trying to form alliances with. I don't care that they're trying to form economic alliances. No leftist is going to leave a marginalized community behind to form alliances with fascists. Okay, fascists need to be stopped, not pandered to. You really think a scorpion's going to be your friend? No, it's going to sting you. That's what they're going to do. You're going to get what they want from you, and then they're going to cast you aside. Stop trying to pander to fascists. And that's what the Republican Party is now. It's a fascist party. Nothing less. They've got their dictator in power now. They got their Supreme Court ready to pass anything to let him stay in power. So, good. Kudos to Bernie Sanders and AOC for this, stop the oligarchs rally across country. Oligarchs love fascists. They only have to pay one person to get what they want. You cannot form alliances with fascists unless you're a fascist yourself. Fascists don't want to share power. They want to consolidate it for themselves. You do not throw away marginalized communities for economic alliances with fascists. You don't do that. No. So, again, I thank God for Francesca Fiorentini. She got out of there. She's a good, solid leftist with good viewpoints at all times. Her heart's always in the right place, too. She doesn't need this crap. I see people from the left and the right making negative comments on my previous one. Fine. Let's address both. Okay. For the one from the left saying Cenk and Anna it's always been a grift. Okay, you know what? Fine. That's that, and we see that. We see that now. But when they were speaking the praises of Bernie Sanders, I was with them on that. I was like, yeah, Bernie Sanders is great. It's when they turned away from AOC and Bernie Sanders is when I started to say they're messed up. They cannot be trusted. They can't be. And then they started in on their tour de fascist, and decided they want to make an alliance with the right. You don't make an alliance with scorpions. You don't do it. All they do is sting you. That's it. Nothing comes out of it other than that. So you want to go ahead and continue. So the one on the right, the one coming from my right, was saying, "Hey, what's wrong with Jake and Anna? They're not. No, they are turning about. Turning about. When you start forming alliances with fascists, you are not a progressive. You're not. You're not. You are a fascist. Okay. Nobody forms alliances with fascists unless they're fascists. There's a reason why Francesca said, take my podcast off your network, even before the firing. She didn't want to be associated with it anymore. And you know what? For Tacoma, whoever you are, okay. If there was a time where I blocked the Vanguard because they started in on AOC because they were backing Jimmy Dore. But you know what? Since then, they've been solid. Okay, yeah, they left Jimmy Dore by the wayside when he started promoting voting for Republican. Okay, so they redeemed themselves. So you know what I say about that? I say if you are saying me and the Vanguard are saying bad things about Cenk and Anna, and that's a bad thing. You know what? I'm proud that I'm speaking out against TYT as it is right now. Okay, just like the Vanguard is. I don't hide from that. I'm not going to. You cannot make alliances with fascists. You can't, and that is what these Charlie Kirk, Steve Bannon, and Glenn Beck are. They're fascists. They're nothing better than fascists. That's what they are. So, like I said, proud of Francesca that she came out before even the firing and said, "No, take my podcast off your network to TOIT." Kudos to her, and kudos to AOC and Bernie Sanders. Bernie has been a proud warrior in the fight to get to make it so that the government serves the people for a very long time. And now we have heroes rising like AOC, Francesca Fiorentini, younger people that can make a difference. If Francesca were to run for Senate in California tomorrow, I'd vote for her absolutely, because I know her heart's in the right place. AOC, if she ever runs for president, is getting my vote. And if she runs for Senate, I hope New York has the sense to pick her over someone like Schumer or Gillibrand. Anyway, there's a global rise in fascism. Argentina, Israel, Russia. Basically, anybody that's trying to vie for power, personal power, is a fascist. That's what they are. They want to control everything. Fascists cannot take dissidents. They cannot. They have to stamp it out. Well, you know what? I was born. I was born to stop that, to do my part to stop that. And I'm not hiding. I'm making my voice very clear in this video. Okay, where I stand on that. Okay, so you like me, dislike me, I don't give a fuck. If you were trying to form alliances with fascists, miss me with that shit. Donald Trump's got to go, and we must never ever have power in the hands of the right wing ever again. They can't do it. It's if you want to stop fascism, you got to do at least one of two things. You got to eliminate the conservative mindset, which is you're trying to do get hundreds what 3 billion people that are conservative and have a conservative mindset in the world. You're not going to be able to do that. But you can get rid of capitalism. That's the other thing that where fascism thrives. That's what you got to get rid of. It's why I'm just an open advocate. I'm an open advocate of socialism for that reason. That is probably the primary reason. We cannot have concentrated wealth in the hands of the few, in the hands of a few, because that tends to lead toward fascism. You got to stop that. We got to make billionaires extinct, and you got two ways to do that: tax them out of existence, or if they're not going to give it up, it must be taken from them by violent means. So they got their choice. I'm willing to go. I'm willing, as long as I'm willing to let themselves be taxed out of existence. I'm good. Okay, I don't mind not having to take lives. In fact, I hope in my lifetime I never have to take a human life. But we're at a point now where people are desperate. Elderly people might not get their Social Security checks. Definitely, the disabled are not going to get their Social Security check. They're already talking about that. Veterans are being cast aside like they were uh, uh, used tools that have lost that are no longer useful as tools. So they just got to die. That's bullshit. The uh, the trans community. Uh, Jenks says he's all about trans rights, but then he wants to form alliances with people that advocate for the election of people that want to eliminate the trans community. So miss me with your TYT apologies as they are right now. Now, if we went back in time to when they were talking about Bernie Sanders and Justice Democrats, hey, I'd be okay with that. Okay, but they're not doing that anymore. They got that Katzenberg money, and they said, "Man, I gotta send the Katzenberg message. I hate homeless people." Other right wing messaging, like anti trans community. No, I'm not dealing with that anymore. I'm not dealing. I'm a small channel, got 100 subscribers. Most of them are from my gaming channel, but I don't mind getting these messages from you clowns. Give me crap about how TYT hasn't changed. No, they have changed. They've absolutely changed, and for the far worse. Okay, so miss me with your messaging for their apology, for apologizing for them. I'm not accepting that apology. They have to, like I said, Vanguard. I blocked them for a while because they started on the Jimmy Dore thing, force the vote, and started bashing AOC all the time. So I blocked them for a while. And then after a while, a friend of mine a follower of mine on Twitter/X said, "Hey, you know what? They're getting better. They're not doing the AOC bashing anymore." So I said, "Okay, I'll give them a shot." And you know what? They've been solid ever since. Okay, so I even subscribe to them now. Okay, I don't, at first I didn't even want to follow them. I just said, okay, I'll listen to them. I won't block. I'll take the block off. I'll listen and see where they're at. And they've convinced me. They're actually good faith actors trying to get things done to get to where the government starts working with the people. So you got that. Let's face it. I think Anna is jealous of AOC. AOC has a faithful following, and it's not because she's good looking. It's because she legitimately cares about the people, and she has a fight in her for it. Anna will never have that. Anna's proven she doesn't have that. She wants the money. Jenkins totally lost out too. So, but the point of this is not particularly overall to bash Jenkins and Anna. They're just people that have taken the money. They've been corrupted by money. That's what they've been corrupted by. Just a typical American. This to fight fascism, you have to stop being a typical person. You have to take a stand, and you got to stand against it. I will always speak out against Turning Point USA, okay, and Charlie Kirk. I will always take a stand against Ben Shapiro. I will always take a stand against Glenn Beck. I will always take a stand against Steve Bannon. I will always take a stand against Donald Trump. I will always take a stand against billionaires. There are no good billionaires. None. If they were good people, they wouldn't be billionaires. Why would they need to be billionaires? Anyway, at this point, I'm out. Uh, Stop fascism, but it takes people that are willing to stand against the powers that be, because the powers that be love themselves from fascism. Corporations love it. Very rich people love it because they only have to pay one man. So you know where I stand now. I don't care whether you like me or if you don't like me about it. That's where I stand, and I'm not hiding. I'm letting the world know where I'm at via this video to start, and I'm going to start making more videos where I bash all things fascist in America and throughout the world. Have a great day. Peace out.